Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Healing Together, the podcast. First order of business is remember that this is not a substitution for therapy. And the title the theme for today's podcast is on stalking, especially online. I have rogue hair. So I want to start with a trigger warning because some things may be very disturbing to hear or see, because I will be playing a few clips of something that happened this week with some female streamers. And if you or someone you know is in an abusive situation, please go to thehotline.org. You can also call, text, or text chat through that site. And if anybody wants to follow me on Twitch, I am greatcatsby_ on Twitch. If you would like to tip your lovely host, you can go to my link tree. There is a couple of ways to tip me there. And you can also use your PayPal with this email. And also, if you have any questions or comments or just want to chat with me, please send me an email. I try to get back to everybody the best that I can. I have lots of stress and lots of busyness going on lately, but I try to get back to everybody. All right, so let me scroll this on the bottom. Oh, all right, welcome everybody. And today I'm going to be joined by the lovely Crystal Phoenix. If you don't know who she is, please go to Crystal Phoenix Rising. And I'm going to bring her up real quick and she can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, Crystal Phoenix Rising is my YouTube channel.
Okay. And I have it in the description of this video too. So
also, you can also check out my website, as I am a domestic abuse awareness advocate, speaker, coach, author, publisher, ... I really need to come up with an acronym for this. Especially with me about to be starting the foundation and everything, I really got to come up with some kind of cool acronym for all of this, because that's a lot.
Naming things is really hard.
But
it took me probably 3 months to come up with Healing Together. I don't know.
No, Crystal Phoenix Rising has always been as soon as I decided to start to be a coach and everything, the Phoenix symbol has always been very near and dear to my heart. First, I used to work the Renaissance Festival, so I love all mythical creatures and the woo-woo and all that fun stuff.
Me too.
But the Phoenix, with everything that I had gone through throughout my life, between my childhood and then my abusive relationship and losing my girls and everything, I really embodied what the Phoenix represents. And from the beginning, I had the vision of the Kitty Phoenix, which, if you check out my page and everything, that is my brand. You know this. You've seen her. You've seen her all over the place. It took me.
And who doesn't love the Phoenix? It's powerful.
Yes. And who doesn't love a kitty? They are beautiful, graceful. They have 9 lives, which, yes. Oh, she's so cute.
Both of them on the bed today.
Yeah. Combine them together and you've got a pretty fierce protector and everything. So, and that's what I did, because both of my spirit animals, one was a great cat, actually a Black Panther to be precise, and the other was the Phoenix bird. So it took me 4 years to create her, and a little bit of AI. Because I can't.
That's okay.
I can't draw freehand, but I had the design in my head, and finally I found an AI tool that I could do it, because I had a bunch of drawings and I combined them, and I came out with Alana, which is what I call her. my
So like you created kind of like a little character avatar.
yeah, but she is my brand.
Mm.
The lotus flowers because of my very dear friend Ollie, who the first time he ever met me, he was like, "You remind me of a lotus flower. How you're always
Aw.
and you're very unique and exotic." And he's non-binary, and he's the language guy. You've seen him on some of my lives, the French guy. Um, but he so I call him uh, my chocolate flavored lotus flower, and it's just a thing we have. But that's why she sits in the lotus flower.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Nice. I love it.
it just inspired me, you know.
Okay. So I wanted to start out with talking about not just stalking in general, but like the dangers that us women presenting folk get online is a lot of it can be a lot of harassment. Depends on who you are. Not every streamer gets harassment or
Some
stalking,
men get
but
it
yeah.
too. Mhm.
But for the most part, we know that overwhelmingly in the streamer world, women get stalked quite heavily, especially like the higher tier streamers.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I learned early on in streaming, and I'm nowhere near like these girls are, but it was to never talk about your stalker, because
It acknowledges them.
it acknowledges them and it can create copycats.
Oh yeah.
So they always say if there's any active stalking going on, they don't even like acknowledge it on a live whatsoever.
No.
And
Because
thank
it
you,
just fuels
God.
them and it gives them power. Honestly.
Yes.
It's the same like when you leave your abuser. There's a reason why they say no contact.
Yeah.
Full no contact.
And I'll sort of look at the chat, but I'm not going to acknowledge it too much just because I have a lot to go through. And I want to get Crystal to tell her story before she has to bounce. But thank you, God King 227 for following me on Twitch. I am once again live on both right now, Twitch and YouTube.
We need to have a private chat about that because I want to start bringing my gaming into my streaming, because I do play games that are mental health related, like personas, the and different things like that I want to tie together. So we need to have a talk about how.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know how to do that kind of stuff yet. I'm still learning. So we need to have a talk about that.
Yeah,
and
no
I do
problem.
love mini dart frogs and critters. I love your name. It just I had to put that out there. That's just awesome.
Yeah, Indigo Twin, it is recommended that you don't acknowledge your stalker, especially online or in general. Yeah, yep. And I have many stories, but I'm not going to tell all of my stories tonight. I just wanted to highlight something that happened in the streamer community, and just talk about a little bit of resources and stalking in general. So let me bring up present. And Indigo, if you want to, if anything comes through that you feel like you want to star, just go ahead and star it. Share screen, and that one. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong tab. We're going to share this tab instead. Okay, so again, trigger warning. I'm not going to play the entire clip. I'll play part of the beginning and then what happened at the end. This is kind of scary, but everybody's fine, thankfully. But sometimes these things happen on live streams, and it's very important to just the story of like people stalking. What was I going to say? It helps give more optics to what the issue is and how bold some of these people feel, how entitled some of them feel to not only just stream snipe. Stream snipe means you find where that person is in real life while they're on stream, and you try to get into their stream.
Thank you.
So these girls are Cinna, Valkyrie, and Imaru. And the guy had previously during the day, or like 30 minutes prior to this, come up to them, and he was wearing something different, a hoodie, and asked for a picture. He got a picture, and then he went and changed clothes.
Go. Proposal.
Yes, please.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, yes, that is. Can I sing for a change? A change for the better, as you would say?
Okay.
And the change would be for her number.
Oh.
If you like it, can I get your number?
I don't have a phone. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, put your number in mine.
I don't know how to use a phone. I'm sorry.
Wait, so I'm gonna keep following her.
You hear that? He's going to keep following her. This man knows that they're live streaming to like 30,000 people, and he feels so bold to do this. It boggles my mind.
I'm gonna keep following her.
Not another one. I know. You're gonna have to get in line. There's too many stalkers.
That's not how you really riz.
Bro, what the fuck?
That's not the riz.
Get behind me. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna skip forward some. So he keeps following them, and then
Oh, no, we're not. No. Hey, excuse me?
No.
Security?
Emily, no.
Hey,
Stop.
Whoa.
It's fucking fine right now.
What?
Get away from
Now.
Hey, what's going
Security.
you harassing us.
on? What's going on? What's going on, man?
Right now. I'll kill you right now.
Fuck
I'll
off.
kill you right now.
Security, please.
Security.
and that's where the clip ends. I feel like I need to take a breath, because just seeing someone say that and lunge at them is I have no words.
Now, I do have to say, okay, I've been to Santa Monica Pier. Okay. Now, first, as beautiful young women, first off, and also public figures as streamers and things like that, when you're going to go to a public place like that, especially in Santa Monica, which is LA, I would highly recommend carrying a taser or a thing of pepper spray, especially if you are a public figure. Things like that. In fact, I tried to comment that, but for some reason it didn't want to post.
Oh. Yeah.
But
And they had one dude with them who was the camera person. So he was holding the camera at the same time as trying to get in between them and the guy. And then
I would have dropped the camera.
I would have too, but I honestly, it's a $10,000 camera.
Yeah, no, I do.
yeah.
Get it. Yeah, when we were in Florida, Matt and I were looking at new like streaming cameras and stuff. So I've seen firsthand what you're talking about with the prices. I get it.
Yeah.
But saving a life, tech. Saving a life, tech. But there was enough people around that it didn't come to that. You know, they were right in screaming for. They did actually handle it properly. You know, at the end where they hollered for security, they hollered. When I used to work Ren Fair, they taught all of us this phrase that if a patron or somebody is doing something like that,
Mhm.
You yell, "Hey, Rube," and you will get whatever security can hear you, like fair, like employees, everybody will come to your aid. And that's for patron anybody. So if you're at Ren Fair and something makes you uncomfortable, a situation like that, remember to yell, "Hey, Rube," and that's basically yelling security. That's the phrase that you would say. So just a little safety tip.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
It did go through.
No, that wasn't the one. I was talking about the
Oh.
pepper spray one, but that's okay. But I'm dead serious for Renaissance festivals. If you literally, because especially people are drinking the booze and everything, and you're in the tight corsets and everything, guys can get a little.
Well,
like
I feel like whenever there's like drugs or alcohol, it just the gloves come off, the filters drop for everybody.
Oh yeah, and when you're in character as a wench, there's funny little to ease us up for a second. You ever wonder why at Ren Fair the wenches especially would have glitter in their cleavage? There's a reason for that. It's called a gypsy kiss. If a guy or a girl is being a little too eyes not where they're supposed to, they'll give you a gypsy kiss and you will be branded all day with glitter all over your
I
face.
love that. No, I love glitter to begin with. So.
Well, oh no, I would do it purposely to my friends because I worked there, and I even sold the glitter wand.
Normally I'm more shiny than this because I love highlighter.
But there's a reason why it's a branding, because it's their way of saying this guy is a creep. Watch out.
And I recommend to everybody, get yourself some drink testers. Put them in your purse.
Yeah.
Men, women, everybody, non-binary. Like every human
human being, period.
Should have, and especially like I like to, I used to carry them. I don't go out as often anymore, but I would give them out to people.
Yeah. I don't.
When I was out.
Yeah.
Because I've been roofied before in a bar, and that was not fun. Thankfully, everything was okay, and I was able to recognize that something really wasn't right.
Yeah.
And I texted a friend before it got really bad. But here's another thing I want to show you.
Hi.
This is Senate and Valkyrie after it happened.
I think a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
speed it up a
lot of
little.
times in this industry cannot talk about the stalkers they have because it will only make them worse. And unfortunately, this one was very, very public.
Yes.
And I feel like none of us can really move on. And we just want to get it out of the way while I am still here and Ray is here and also Emmy is safe. We did not know that it was even the same guy up until he made the original thread about following us. We didn't click it.
He changed clothes, apparently, which was insane.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, he met us earlier, like 30 minutes before, and was, interested. Like he was just a little cringe. And like we took a photo with him and he was very nice. And he went and changed clothes and came back, which is why we didn't know who he was. And I also want to say, before we say anything, like if you even remotely think that Rosie and Emily did anything wrong, like I genuinely mean this, shut the fuck up, like seriously, because you were not there. It is like fight or flight in that moment, and Rosie and Emily did everything they could to protect us so that we could like get away. And like Rosie even afterwards like stood out the door, and it's hard when you are like a camera guy and he is holding tens, like literally the equipment that he has on it is so much money. He was literally holding the camera close to him, turning, and like Rosie pushes the guy like away from us. Like they did so much to help us, and they are not security. They're not trained to do that. Rosie and Emily are normal human beings like us. Like they're not used to that.
Emily was prepared to like fight him though, even though he was like pulling things out of his pockets.
Yeah.
I just like, it scares me like thinking about that any of them could have gotten hurt.
Yeah.
It was really scary.
Yeah. If you haven't seen, the entire interaction can be condensed into 2 minutes.
Also, it wasn't shown, but he like banged on this trash can in front of the security guard. Like, I don't know if you could hear it.
The way that we knew he was manic was he kept changing like personality. Like he would get really happy and be really nice, and then feel threatened and get really aggressive very quickly and was punching stuff behind us. And when he charged at Emily and stuff like that, and he charged at Emmy, we just went into fight or flight. And for those of you who don't know, like, we know he's a stalker. He pulled up when he was behind us. He pulled up Emmy's TikToks.
Yeah, he was watching.
And was watching her TikToks and like looking up and like, and just like staring at us. And he, even when like he ran at us and he said he was going to kill us, he kept running and trying to get something out of his pocket. And like I said, like, you guys, when that clip cuts off.
If anyone is threatening you and they reach in their pockets, just get the fuck away from them as fast as you can. Because you never know if someone does have a weapon or something. I've seen someone almost get stabbed in trying to break up a fight. Yeah.
Like, we had to run into a store screaming that somebody was going to kill us so that somebody would step in and let us in the back. And we were lucky that one of the workers, who was not like questioning us, actually like believed us, and he put us all in the back. And they're panicked. They didn't know what to do. So they tried to bring us behind the buildings to help us, but we didn't know where he was. He I think when we went in the store, he backed off because it was a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And so we don't know where he was. We didn't know where he went. And we had to beg the workers to hide us because they kept trying to tell us that it's not their fault, but they kept trying to get us to go back around where it happened and saying that he was gone. But we said we didn't know if he was going to come back. And so we had to hide in a shed for 15 minutes until the cops came.
I'm just going to stop it there because they talk for a little while longer, but yeah, it's a really hard thing to know what to do in that kind of situation. So I think peanut gallery people saying, "Oh, this is what I would have done in your situation."
You don't know what you would do
know
until you're there. That their story reminds me of what happened to Christina Grimmie, but at least they had a much better ending.
If nobody knows about Christina Grimmie, she
was a beautiful singer.
Was it The Voice?
Yeah.
Okay, she won on The Voice, and she got.
But she'd been doing music long before that with Kurt, and either way, she just.
Yeah, it's at a venue, and a guy who had been stalking her came up to the meet and greet table.
Yeah.
It was at one of her shows.
Yeah.
And then he just point blank, right in.
It was actually a reunion for The Voice, I believe.
Yeah. So even if you, like, I've thought about this a lot too. Like, even if you have pepper spray or you're carrying a weapon of any kind, things happen so fast. You may not have time to take out that and react.
You don't have time to react. My dad taught me from a very young age self-defense. How to get out, like if a robber or somebody comes and grabs you, kind of thing, and like puts a gun or a knife. My dad taught me how to get out of it. Growing up in South Florida, he had a pretty little daughter. Yeah, he wanted to make sure I could take care of myself. You know, but in the situation, your fight or flight, those girls did the best that they could. And, you know, screaming bloody murder for help. Yeah, that was one of the smartest things they could do.
And even though this guy is face on in the camera, has digital footprint for months stalking Imaru, the police aren't really doing anything.
Of course not.
But here's the thing, and I say this about sexual assault, about anything that you have to go to the police to make a report on. If you don't feel brave enough to go by yourself, take someone with you and fill out that report. Because even if the police won't do anything, there's still something like there's still a case file
There's still
opened,
a paper
and
on it.
anything that
Not-
happens, any communication, emails from that person, you just take it back to the police and say, add
unless
this
you're
to
in
my
the
file.
Midwest. Unless you're in the Midwest and your file happens to be a shredder.
Yeah, it's not a perfect system. And unfortunately, even though we have these laws in place, the cops are supposed to do something about stalking.
A lot of times the
It
cops are
is-
just as bad. Sorry, I'm a
use
little
their
jaded on
discretion.
that one.
No, I know. They use their discretion if they want to go forward with it or not.
Matt's told me horror stories about the cops here.
Hi,
How
Jen.
so. But
so the sheet. Oh, not that.
yes, the fact sheet I sent you.
Yes.
One thing about Crystal Phoenix is if I'm given a topic, I have no problem with doing the research and everything. And if I can't find it, I have people who can and will.
So this comes from SPARC, Stalking Prevention Awareness and Resource Center. And I'm not going to read it all, but make sure that you look up your jurisdiction's laws on this stuff, because it always will vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. But the stats here are 1 in 3 women and 1 in 6 men have experienced stalking victimization at some point in their lifetime. I will say that I have had at least 4 stalkers that I know of.
Yeah, and with cyber stalking, 1.2 million and that was just 2009. Cyber stalking is a lot more.
Really don't know what the frick to do about that kind of stuff, because
I have some tips on those.
Because when I had to go to the police about doxing, they were just like, well, there's not much we could do. Did you contact the website? Yes, they did not deem it as harassment, so they kept it up. But when I show you that clearly I'm being doxed, and then they're just like, okay, whatever. Good luck with that.
Revenge porn is another one where people use for cyber stalking. Usually that's when it comes to like exes that are still stalking. I had to deal with that. He's in jail for another 21 days. Thankfully.
So
not because of me.
So if you want this info sheet, you can go to SPARC. And there's lots of good websites and organizations out there that keep track of this kind of stuff. And with that, I want to get into, I put the wrong one on. There we go. Now we're bigger. With that, I wanted to get a little bit into your story before you have to run. So
when my stalking was a little bit more private. You know, it was my ex. He refused to let go, my abuser. But he would stalk me online, harass me every time I tried to get my coaching business going. He would try to discredit me by bringing up my past and things like that. And okay, I own my past. I was a stripper. Yes, I own it. You know, don't judge me by my past. I don't live there anymore. You know, what I went through, what I've done to pay my bills and everything. First off, I don't care if people know. Because you know what? I did it. I'm not proud of it. Not proud of it. It was fun, honestly.
We've all done bad things.
But
hey,
I'm sorry,
I've been to jail.
Me too.
When I was 18.
Being an exotic dancer, you know what? It was fun. I had fun with it. You know?
And people get into that line of work for all sorts of reasons, and you should never like demean someone for choosing that work.
Or they're single moms, college students trying to pay pay their tuition.
Teachers.
Actually, yes.
I've
Varsity
known
Blues.
teachers to do that. Yeah.
Varsity Blues. You know, I was a single mom. But even before that, you know, I needed to pay bills. And it was fast money. I mean, come on, the 2000s, we hadn't hit a recession yet. And I was in Fort Lauderdale.
Not yet.
I was in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, buddy. I mean, heck, I made $500 off of a guy for looking at him and saying, "Sweetheart, you can't afford what I give away to the ones I want to."
Oh my God.
He handed me $500, bought the most expensive bottle for a champagne room, and we just bullshitted and gave each other a neck massage for the hour. And I got the commission on the bottle. I wound up making like $900 off this dude for nothing, just keeping him company. Whatever.
Hey, you're there providing a service. Everybody needs a little service.
Whatever. I felt I was
I had to do that.
No, actually, the way you said that, the way I saw it was I was getting the guys ready to go home to their wives and give their wives the ride of their life, whether, you know, getting them ready to go home. Because I wasn't finishing. They could go home and treat their wives pretty good. I'm doing a service. You know? Whatever. That's how I got through my day. Whatever. But he would try to discredit me. He would post personal videos. We were together for 9 years, okay? We had 2 kids. He would post personal videos that we had made while we were together. I wound up having to drop out of culinary school because now part of the reason why I hate the system. Okay. I had enrolled in culinary school. Now in Iowa, there are plenty of halfway houses all across the state. Why did they put him in one a mile away from the culinary school I was going to be attending? And they knew. I gave them a recording of him admitting to raping me. They did nothing. That's why I said I have no faith in the system.
Let's start from the beginning. Like when and where did it start?
I left him. My little girl looked at me and said, "Mommy, it's okay if Daddy hurts you as long as he comes home." That was it. I'd already tried leaving once, but I went to a situation that in my mind was a lot worse. And I went back. Thankfully, I had him at the second time when I tried to leave. And I did. Well, he refused to let go. He would blackmail me. He would harass me. He would threaten me. He would threaten Matt. He would threaten my children. He would threaten my mom, my sister, my family, Matt's family, his newborn nephew, to get me to send him money, to get me to come see him. He did everything. He tried to isolate me. He tried to, basically, he felt that if he could get Matt to leave me, I would come running back to him. And he would, basically, he did everything he could. He even went so far when I was in school as broke into my car, and I had a bag in the back seat because we had gone out of town that had some lingerie in it and one of my laptops. And he stole my laptop and put the lingerie on his little roommate and took a video of her from like here down, sent it to Matt, trying to convince Matt that it was me. And that is massive stalking. Like, he did everything he could. He would follow me on social media. He would have all of his friends. He would send videos pretending to be me to other people, trying to get them to stalk me as well, things like that, harassing me and such. Basically, just trying to make my life a living hell. And there are ways to avoid it when it comes to cyber. Like I had noticed in the mini dart, how he had stuff like that happen, or she, I'm not sure, sorry. When it comes to being an influencer and having an email for people to contact you and things, set up a specific email for that. Route it through a VPN so that they cannot pinpoint your location through said email. Also set up filters for keywords. And with those filters, they will put them specifically into a file that you can report to the cyber crimes unit. That's where you need to specify. Because you just bring it to your local police, they're not going to do shit. Now, if you report to the cyber crimes units.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to cyber stalking, a lot of times they're not just stalking you. They're trying to get all of you, your identity, your money, they're trying to go all the way. So route through VPN, set up the filters and everything. When I tell you, like, our stuff is locked down, Matt runs our own servers here. Like how I had said with the foundation, like the support groups and things like that are going to be secure. You know how I know? Because I'm running the server. You know, we've got firewall after firewall after firewall, things like that. Mini Dart, Indigo, can you drop my channel for Mini Dart? Because I will tag some links on my channel to that are very good on showing you how to do that. Matt makes me watch all those how-to videos and stuff.
Indigo.
Yeah.
You were stalked, ended up having to lock yourself in a bathroom to avoid being attacked.
At
your own job? Oh, geez.
Workplace stalking is hard because even just being kind, you know, you're refilling your coffee cup, so you refill theirs, can be a mixed signal.
Yeah. And that's the thing about parasocial relationships. It's hard to avoid them because they're going to happen. And parasocial relationships aren't inherently bad, but they can ramp up and be bad. Because I've heard from many streamers, like really high tier streamers, they get, you know, over 10,000 views at a time. They try and make sure that they tell their local police that they may have like stalkers saying like, hey, I'm a streamer, you might get swatting calls or these kinds of calls. And they have to just keep showing up or to take it seriously. Where was I going with that? Yeah, stop. So, oh my gosh, my train of thought right now is so bad.
That's okay. We have the 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon brain. I do it too. With ADHD behind. It's all right, sweetheart.
I'm so sorry. Like I had like I think 2 thoughts in my head, and they just kind of like went like
they
this.
Collided
like, wait a minute. What am I saying?
I do too, sweetie. You're fine.
No, I've heard that like from a lot of streamers that it is hard to avoid the parasocial. I know where I was going with that thought. To your point about they will actually start to think that they are with you or you're going to get married. You're their fiance now. And then they're like coming from other states or other countries to come be with you because and
that
like
was the whole Christina Grimmie thing.
They tell the police, no, we're together. That's my girlfriend or my wife. Why are you trying to arrest me? Yeah.
No, I'm already married, asshole. You know, I'm from the South. I call, and you guys have, for anybody that's gone to any of my lives, things like that, y'all know I call people hun, sweetie, babe, baby girl, depending on how well I know you. You know what I mean? But that's just a Southern thing. It really is, especially like the hun and sweetie and stuff.
That's good, Indigo. I'm glad that you had
Good.
that person.
But I had to do that, actually. I had a, thank you, Indigo. You just reminded me of a workplace stalking that scared the hell out of me.
Hold on. We need to go back. You're ADHD. I have to try and keep you on task. Let's go back to like, so you went to the police at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what all came from that, and how did the stalking end?
Nothing came of it. And I had a no contact order. We went with pages of it. It didn't matter. In fact, they let him off probation 6 months early and didn't make him do the battery classes. What finally got it to stop was when he went to Nevada. The Nevada judge, I actually got to finally do a victim statement, and the Nevada judge stepped in, extended the no contact order for another 2 years, extended it over my entire family, Matt and his entire family, and our girls and their foster family and everything, and all of social media. So, and I think him hearing me read that victim statement, even though it was through Zoom, maybe finally sunk in. I don't know. I don't care. It has been a very nice 1.5 years of quiet.
Well, I'm glad that it's quiet. So how many times did you have to go to the police to get anything done at all? Like, did you have to sue him or or just do the, you didn't sue him, so you only took him to court for the TRO?
No, I reported the domestic abuse.
Right. So you took him to court to get the TRO, right? The restraining order.
No, Iowa actually issued that before I wanted it.
Okay.
I wanted him to get help. The first time I put him in jail, I wanted him to get help. I wanted him to be put in rehab and mental health. I still loved him. We had 2 children. I wanted him to get help.
Yeah. Sometimes
I had come to the realization that there's nothing there. No. Anyway.
Yeah, I've heard many people go that route where they go, okay, I won't make them go to jail if they just, agree to getting help, and then it just backfires anyway.
Oh no, the judge, they were the ones that chose not to put it. He would go to jail for a month. I mean, I have matching scars from the fuck. Excuse my language.
It's okay.
This was a remote. This was a remote, and this was a wall.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It happened.
Yeah, and with my domestic violence situation that I had to try and go to the police for, and it's the only time that I had physical injuries from somebody that I could do something with. So I took pictures the next day, and even when I went to the police station 2 weeks later to make the report and to hand over the evidence, they questioned why I had waited that long, and
victim shaming.
Why didn't I call the police that night? And I was I locked myself in a room and I went to sleep. Actually, I barely slept that night, but I locked myself in a room.
Because I was terrified that he would kill me if I called the police right now.
Yeah. And I even told the police, the reason why I waited was because I wanted to safely get myself, my animals, and my things out of there. Most of my things didn't end up nice and neat. I went back with a police escort at some point to get the rest of my stuff, and it was nearly all destroyed. So,
oh yeah. But he was good at destroying things. That was part of why I lost my girls, was because he would literally break and destroy everything. Loud noises. When I finally fully got out, you couldn't close a door hard without me having an anxiety attack. Really, really bad. And he had groomed my girls not to listen to me. Yeah. But that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm starting the foundation. I'm building a sanctuary program. I'm putting together what I needed and didn't have.
A lot of people do.
So that other families don't go through what I did.
I think that's why like a lot of us get into this kind of work, because we've had our own experiences, and when you have your own experiences, you can make someone else feel less alone.
Yeah. And it does help. I mean, we always say don't compare trauma, because one abuse is no worse or more horrific than the other, because what I went through, I've talked to other survivors and I'm like, I feel like what I went through was nothing. Whereas Indigo, different people that have heard, and nobody here has fully heard my entire story from start to finish. And maybe will one day. I don't know. I haven't, I might do it all together, but I usually break it up.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, how did you survive? I'm a phoenix. I refuse.
I don't know. Like people ask me the same thing, or they'll tell me that I'm strong, and I'm like, I have a problem with that. I'm like, the strength to me comes from actually picking yourself up and starting to heal yourself.
Yeah.
I wasn't strong because of the things I went through.
No.
I just learned to adapt and get myself out alive as best as I could.
You do what you have to do. I agree.
And that's with like my whole childhood, not just partners, but.
Mm-hmm.
So when
looking in, my childhood looked amazing, but my stepfather, yeah, I get it. I get what you're talking about.
So after you got a restraining order on him, do you have custody of the kids? Does someone else have custody of the kids? Does he still see them?
He doesn't see them.
Okay.
And
only talk about what you
no, it's okay.
About.
In the Midwest, okay, if you're not from there and you're a survivor, you don't get your kids. The foster family had the right connections, the right money, right everything. They got Matt fired from his job, falsified drug tests, everything, because they wanted to adopt my girls. They're the worst kind of born-again Christians you'll ever meet. They got, like, my little girl, my Maka, she was about 8. It was right around when, like, about my last visit and everything, but I was giving her a bath because we had just made a mess. And she had a boo-boo on her butt. And you pat boo-boos, you don't rub them. And I was patting it, and she looks at me and she goes, Mommy, Billy rubs my butt when he gives me a bath. What the fuck is a grown man doing giving my 8-year-old daughter a bath when there's 3 grown women that live in the house? A teenager and 2 grown women. It was reported by both me and my supervisor, the person that supervised my visits, and it got brushed under the table. How he got my abuser got off the probation 6 months early and everything was he signed a deal under the table to help me ensure that my rights got terminated too, by the harassment and everything, because he convinced the courts that I couldn't keep them safe from him.
It's unfortunately not the first time I've heard of something like that. I mean, I don't know much about the Midwest, but some parts of Washington are like that. If you get the wrong judge, or you just can't pay for a lawyer and you're doing it all yourself, like the person that paid for the lawyer, who's the bad person, could still get custody because getting a lawyer is more important than a mother trying to do everything by herself.
I haven't given up. I haven't, but we are coming up on time. And one stalking situation that I had at work. I was working at a truck stop, and I was overnight, and my porter actually quit on me halfway through the night, and all of a sudden I had a trucker calling stalking, like he's watching me, like literally terrified me. And he did it for 2 nights in a row. They finally pinpointed him. For once, the cops actually did something. They were able to pinpoint his location, and they actually did arrest him for the harassment, because the great thing about TA is when he would call, the calls are recorded. So there was proof.
Good.
So for once, it actually did go well for me, but I was alone in the store and this started at like 2-3 in the morning, and it went all the way up to a point where I locked the doors. I called my boss and told him what was happening, and I locked the doors until somebody came in. Another coworker came in so that I wasn't alone, because I was terrified. Because he was saying all kind of lewd, perverted things to me and everything. And at first I laughed it off. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm married. I'm not, a lot rat. I was like, please be respectful. And I hung up. And he kept calling and getting worse and worse and scarier and saying he could see me and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the part about stalking that is really hard, because these people are either fundamentally broken in the brain, and just feel like incel and entitled to a person.
Narcissist.
Or there's a bigger mental illness at play, which is, I hate when media distorts statistics and make it seem like if you're schizophrenic, you are going to be violent towards someone, or you're bipolar.
I did send you those stats too.
Yeah.
Where it's actually proven. And here, let me look at it real quick. Because I'm looking at our chat real quick. Bipolar disorder and violence. Only 8.4% of individuals with bipolar are ever engage in serious violence over a year.
Yeah.
10% of people with paranoid schizophrenia. That's, and a lot of times there's key factors that increase that risk of them being violent. Substance abuse, getting off their meds, lack of support, and history of trauma or violence. So people saying that, he's violent because he's bipolar or because he's paranoid schizophrenic. My daughter's
some people are just entitled.
My daughter's godfather is paranoid schizophrenic, and as long as he's on his meds, he's fine, and he can feel himself slipping, like if he forgot to take his meds, and he will tell you, dude, I need to go, because he can feel it, and he will literally space himself from the kids, from everybody, until he can get himself back under balance. So when people say, mental health or whatever, no. Hi, 702. I love you, sis. Mwah. She actually works in mental health in
nice. Good to meet you.
Yeah, she's actually one of my very first supporters.
Indigo. They feel you belong to them. Or somehow don't have autonomy of yourself.
Yeah, that's
my first big long relationship after high school was with someone that ended up being a controlling freak, and he would either say he was going to hurt me or he was going to hurt himself.
Oh yeah, that one's my
favorite. He also said to me, no, this relationship isn't over till I say it's over. And for 6 months after I broke up with him, I had to go to other people's houses because he was trying to come to my house and find me.
Yeah, that was my ex as well. No, it's not over till I say it is. I'm going to kill myself. Only you can help me. You're the only one that understands.
Or if I can't have you, nobody can have you. Look at Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie case.
Christina Grimmie.
And Christina Grimmie. I mean, and they're not the only ones. Like Dine Barrel, What is his name? Dime Barrel something.
Dimebag.
Dimebag, right. He got
Name
shot.
of a Bullet.
Yeah,
The
he got
song
shot.
Name of a Bullet by Nickelback. It's one of my favorite songs, actually.
So yeah, some stalker crazy fan shot him while he was performing on stage.
Yeah.
So it's
very
crazy when you're a public figure. Like even if you're not a public figure, it can still be scary to be in the world, especially as a female or female presenting person.
It's scary just period being a human anymore, honestly.
Yeah. And
my friend
all I can say to people is just make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. And like I said at the beginning, to not even mention your abusers online, abusers or stalkers online. I mean, if you're going through, where's my brain is just all over the place.
They don't acknowledge the trolls, whether they're
don't acknowledge the trolls, stalker
whether
or
they're
not.
Stalker, troll, abuser.
But especially if you're going through an investigation, you want to preserve the investigation too as much as possible. So keeping your lips tight about that to not alert anybody of what's going on. I had to learn that the hard way, unfortunately. But
at the same time, it's like, it also, by not acknowledging them, yes, it will enrage them. But at the same time, it's also setting a boundary that they don't deserve free rent in your mind, in your space. They don't deserve it. They don't. And it took me a long time to understand that, when it came to certain things.
Well, it is 3 o'clock. We've been talking for an hour. I know I have more to talk about on this subject, but I'm going to call it for now. I will drop you down, Crystal.
Absolutely. Big hugs, everybody. Thank you for coming.
And then I will end the stream. So thank you so much, Crystal, for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're always invited back. It was funny, like yesterday I was like, I want to do a thing on stalking. And you were like, can I be there?
I was like, I can help. I've got experience. I've got the knowledge.
Yeah, so thank you, Crystal. And all of your links will be in the description box below.
And the reason why Miss 702 had seen it was I went on YouTube and actually shared it, like did a post with it saying, come join us for this really important conversation. So thank you, sis, for coming. I love you.
All right.
She's amazing. Mwah. Bye, guys. I'm going to get out of here and go get some shrimp.
Yes, go get your food.
Bye, guys.
Well, thank you so much. I will talk to you soon, Crystal.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I know these are tough subjects to have conversations about, but they are necessary. And I'm going to do a part 2 so that we can dive into more of the legalities of stalking, and especially cyber stalking, since a lot of us frequently are streaming. And so it's really good to know how to set up your boundaries with your audience, and to protect yourself as best as possible. Because one of the things that I had watched from some other streamers who talked about their stalking stories, I lost my train of thought again. This is live TV, guys, where I forget all the things. What was I gonna say? Anyway, I'm gonna bring up, the next time I'm on here talking about stalking, I am gonna bring up some other stories that streamers have had to deal with. And yeah, it's just all about, like I said in the beginning, everybody is going to get parasocial at some point, but it's where the boundaries are and how far people are taking things. And I just want people to be really safe and protect yourself, help protect other people around you. And If you are met with a stalker of any kind and they reach into their pockets, please get out of there as quickly as possible. I love you all. I love that you choose to spend your time with me, and thank you for being here. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will speak to you soon. Okay, hopefully this weekend. And I promise I will be doing another cozy chat or a cozy stream soon, because it is much needed. I've been having a moment to myself. So thank you again. Bye, guys. Bye, Jen.